Decodable books are everywhere right now. Schools are replacing leveled libraries. Parents are being told that if children aren't reading decodables, they're learning to read the wrong way. But here's the surprising part. The actual research on decodable books is far less definitive than most people realize. Some studies show benefits, others show only small effects, and several major literacy researchers argue the debate itself has become oversimplified. So are decodable books actually better than leveled readers? Or are we turning another reading issue into another reading war? Over the past few years, the shift has happened incredibly fast. Entire classroom libraries have been replaced, and honestly, it's understandable why. Leveled readers became closely associated with queuing systems and guessing strategies. Decodable books became positioned as the science-backed alternative because they align directly with phonics instruction. But sometimes in education, a useful correction slowly turns into an absolute rule. And that's where this conversation gets more complicated. A 2024 meta-analysis by Murphy-Odo found that decodable texts produced only small improvements in word reading and moderate improvements in pseudo-word decoding. That pseudo-word finding matters because it measures whether children can actually apply phonics patterns instead of memorizing words. So yes, decodables do appear to help with decoding practice, but the effects were smaller than many people expect. And that matters because online conversations often frame this issue as completely settled. Decodables good, leveled readers bad. The actual research is more nuanced. And this is where things get more interesting. Research from Timothy Shanahan and Elfrieda Hebert suggests the bigger variable may not be the books themselves, but the instructions surrounding them. Decodable books are useful when children are first learning sound-symbol relationships. They reduce cognitive load and help children apply phonics patterns they've explicitly been taught. But children also need vocabulary, knowledge, language exposure, motivation to read, and highly controlled decodable texts can sometimes limit those experiences. That's why researchers argue the debate became binary, as if one text type must completely replace the other. That's important because reading development is probably more complicated than one perfect book type. And if your child's school recently replaced all of their leveled readers with decodables, or you've been confused about what kids are actually supposed to read, let me know what you're seeing in the comments, because the final piece of this conversation may explain why schools are replacing libraries anyway. Even with mixed evidence, many schools are still rapidly replacing leveled reader libraries with decodable collections. And politically, that makes sense. Decodable books became symbolic of the science of reading movement. They're visible, they're easy to mandate, easy to audit, and a school can point to the shelves and prove change happened. But some researchers warn the evidence supporting full-scale replacement is less definitive than people assume. That doesn't mean schools should go back to queuing-based instruction, but it does raise an important question. Are we sometimes treating instructional tools like ideological markers instead of instructional decisions? Because the strongest classrooms are usually more flexible than internet debates suggest. Here's the most important takeaway. Decodable books are useful tools, especially when children are first learning how sounds connect to letters. They help children practice decoding successfully. But the research does not support the idea that decodables alone are the magic solution to reading instruction. And it also doesn't support teaching children to read primarily through guessing and context clues. The strongest reading instruction is probably more balanced than the internet debates make it seem. Children need explicit phonics instruction. They need opportunities to practice decoding, but they also need rich language, knowledge building, vocabulary exposure, and books that make them actually want to read. Because the goal isn't just accurate sounding out, the goal is building children who can decode, understand, and enjoy reading. And that usually requires more than one type of book. And if you want to understand the bigger debate underneath all of this, watch my video on the 3 queuing controversy next. I'll see you there.